I realized I have a really intense fear of failure internally. When I really think about, and it's weird, when I look back to when I played, leading up to a game on Sunday, all week long, I would have this vision of the guy that I was playing. So when I woke up with my mindset of, oh, that guy out there, he has me in his sights, and he has a plan to absolutely crush me, I woke up and I put in the work.
With each and every single one of you. And I'm a big believer in life, that life is about relationships. Izzy just mentioned that. And it was fantastic having the opportunity to meet you. I kind of come from that iron sharpens iron mentality. Like, I can't wait to learn so much from all of you. I learned so much from Izzy, not only hearing his stories last night, but by looking into his eyes. And you could see the passion in this man's eyes. There's a level of intention that he has in his eyes when he looks at you. And I don't know if anybody's ever told you that.
Never heard that before, no.
But I hear your story, and what a lot of people hear is, okay, 11 years in the NFL, right? 10 years with the Bears. And what I tend to listen to, and what I love hearing, is how you've attacked your life with purpose. Right? Because coming from Nigeria, you could have been that child who fought like, I'm not doing a journal, I'm not doing all these things. And then going and playing the 9-man football, and coming from Canada to play football in the NFL, that's like very rare. Yeah. Many people don't know that. You didn't highlight that. That's right. Very rare. Yeah. And then breaking your ankle with Cleveland, and all of these adversities that you went through. And what I want to know, because this is what I think I see in your eyes, is there's this underlying burn. And you know, a lot of times people talk about why and they talk about purpose. Like, we all have a why, we all have purpose. But what I love learning about individuals is, what's the burn? Like, when we go deeper than the why, deeper than the purpose, like, what's the burn for you? What has caused you to say, I'm not just a football player, right? Because you had the blessing of having that mentor. So what I would love to hear, and I hope everybody's excited to hear it as well, is what is that burn that when you were challenged to say beyond the game of football? Because now the impact you're having, you're very humble about it. What you're going to do off the football field, I think you've already done it, is far more significant than what you ever did on. So where does that burn come from? What is that burn for you?
You know, so I think it's a number of things, the burn. I think, one, I truly have a vision to leave a legacy and to in some capacity impact this world beyond just taking care of my family and, you know, doing the things that I know that the monetary benefit from playing in the NFL could provide. So I think the first burn is, like, what does that legacy look like? Like, what did I do in this world? Like, one day when I'll be gone, which I unfortunately, I don't know why I think of, like, the reality of one day I'll be gone. And when I'm gone, what will my mark on this world be? So the first thing is, and impacting and changing the world takes a lot of fuel. Takes a lot of resources, time, money, and energy. So that was always a part of, you know, I'm going to set my family up for life, and then I'm going to make an impact in this world. The second component of that, as I really thought about my why, I realized I have a really intense fear of failure internally. When I really think about, and it's weird, when I look back to when I played, leading up to a game on Sunday, all week long, I would have this vision of the guy that I was playing preparing. I'd have a vision of him preparing and saying that he was going to dominate me for 4 quarters. He was going to absolutely abuse me in that game and, like, dominate and just embarrass me in front of 60, 70,000 fans every week. So when I woke up with my mindset of, oh, that guy out there, he has me in his sights, and he has a plan to absolutely crush me, I woke up and I put in the work. And I pushed myself harder than I ever have. You know, people externally can say, hey, you got to do this, you know, this will be good for you. But until you want it yourself internally, until you have that drive internally, it's, you know, it's not the same. And for me, in situations like the Communion Cup business or in any of the other things I'm doing, it's just like, you know, this is where we are. And you know, people out there don't expect us to sell 50 million cups of pre-filled communion. we're going to sell 50 million communion cups. And people are like, pre-filled communion, you're a football player, how do you get in that business? Right? So the positioning of that in my mind, it excites me, the challenge of mapping out everything I'm doing. It's like, what's the win? What's the objective? Who are my opponents? And then just taking that approach, trying to get those successes.
So one of the concepts I know that you really like is micro wins.
Yeah.
Right? So even like in this business, and that's what I was saying was from football to you will dominate whatever you want to choose to do in your life. I mean, I can see it in your eyes. Micro wins, and then you say the word analyze. Now we've heard it in the game of football. How is that correlated and the connection to everybody in their business? Like how important do you think it is for people to experience micro wins, and what does that mean to you? And how important is it for all of us, for me, for each individual, to really analyze like what makes us great, and then our willingness to want to repeat that over and over and over again?
Yeah, so what I love about the micro win approach is that we internally set it, right? So your boss is going to tell you what a goal is. Like, you got to do this. And because that's your responsibility, you have to do it. But internally for yourself, if you can take the time to create what micro wins look like, what you think you can achieve towards that goal, internally making sure and position yourself to win. I think winning is habitual. Like, winning is a culture. When you start to win, it just builds and it grows, and it's this thing that snowballs.
So developing people is obviously important. We can hear it. And I know so many individuals in this business, it's changed. So I was a former financial advisor, and I'll share some of that later, but spent 10 years in the business, so I know what you go through every single day, the pains, the fears, the doubts, the uncertainties, getting knocked down. The business has changed since 2004 when I came in, and so much it is more team-oriented these days. And I know you did a TED Talk on 5 successful ways to develop people. So if you could share, just as we're all working in teams now to try to be our best together, what are some of those key principles or attributes that you're seeing and sharing in the development of other people?
Of other people. So before I answer that, I think you also asked about the analysis for all of us as far as the micro win piece.
Yep.
I missed that answer. So just to touch on that quickly, I think what's very important as far as analyzing the win is you might get a win, and the analysis post is very important because sometimes you leave a lot of meat on the bone still. Sometimes you got the win, but people are still not satisfied or happy, or you're short of the win. The analysis allows you to set the next goal. You know, again, after we get our 10,000 units of product, based on how we do that, the next goal might be 50,000, 100,000, it might be 1 million units of the product. So the analysis is really key to setting the next milestone on how you're going to position it, who you're going to position from the team to like be the point or to play a different role, and making adjustments to your roster to help make sure you achieve the next goal, right? So the analysis piece truly is a piece that you have to do. You've got to analyze, you know, when you close that deal, and again, to the mentorship, having a mentor kind of look through how it was executed so they can say, yeah, you did a great job, but next time when the client said this, there was a window for you there to close 2 or 3 other opportunities, and you know you were really excited about the close and you just took it, but like you left something on the table there, and that makes that player, that person on your team better, having that analysis and that feedback, right? As far as kind of the 5 keys to building culture, for me the most important piece is vision. Period. Great leaders set great vision, and they do a really great job of analyzing their team. So, hey, I want you to, you know, be a defensive end for our team, right? When I analyze your ability to be an end, I have to know, are you a run stopper or are you a pass rushing end? Or are you an every down end, right? If I'm watching you and I know what you are, and, you know, I position the big picture to, hey, all I need for you to do, because you're a pass rushing end in this scenario, all I need for you to do is come in on nickel downs, pass rushing scenarios. And in those pass rushing scenarios, I need you this year to give me 10 sacks. That's it. And if you can do that for me this year, coming in on just nickel, when we know it's pass, and you can give me 10 sacks, you're going to help this team win. right? And then I go to my nose tackle, and it's a different narrative for him. What I'm telling him is, all I need for you to do is get in here, and we don't want to give up 100 yards a game. Any game, we do not want to give 100 yards. And your job in this team, for us to win, to make it to the Super Bowl, is we've got to hold teams to less than 2.5 yards a carry per game. That's it. And the nose guard says he knows he can do that because that's his strength, that's his gift. You know you can pass rush, that's your strength, that's his gift. Great leaders have the ability to set big vision, but the ability to come underneath each person on the team and activate your gift and the importance of your gift towards working towards that big vision, right? So that's why, I truly feel like, again, it's a lot of time from a leadership perspective, knowing your team, knowing how they're cut, knowing what makes them tick, and using those levers to get their buy-in towards the culture. As soon as you're bought in, then I don't have to manage you or over-manage you like someone else. If you're not bought in, you're not at the workout on time, you're late for practice, you're not doing those things, you're not at the sales meeting, you're clocking out early. Having the buy-in of the team is so critical, and everything for me, I think truly clear vision and drawing the correlation between each of the members of the team is one of the most important pieces that we as leadership can do for our team and for the culture of the greater picture of what we're building.
Is there one more of the 5 that you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, beyond that would be mentorship. I think, finding a mentor. I talked about the playbook as an important piece. What's great about great mentorship is, again, when you analyze the talent, I was a long lever guy. I had a quick inside move and, good strength. And I actually, I would consider myself an every down end. So I remember Rod Marinelli pulling up endless film. He must have pulled like weeks of film of Michael Strahan and Simeon Rice. And he just said, study these guys. These guys have your gifts. These guys have the tools you have. Michael Strahan, incredible long arm. Simeon Rice, incredible long arm level, right? So me being, as a young player, being able to sit there and watch the mentors use their gift and make play after play after play using their gift, that is an amazing opportunity or amazing thing as far as you have a talented employee, a talented team member. Who else on your team has a gift? What all-star on your team has a gift or a set of gifts that's similar to this rookie or to this guy you want to develop? And again, matching them together and allowing the rookie, allowing the young guy to almost learn through osmosis or learn through, a playbook or a rule book or just time with that mentor. And all of a sudden now you have 2 all-stars or you have really close to 2 guys, because everyone wants to be successful. So the young guy then starts to say, I want to be, I clearly, yeah, you're right. What he's doing, I do that well. I'm a great communicator, right? So I'm gonna follow in their footsteps. Or if you're not, maybe communication's not your skill set, but you're great at the analytics and the numbers and pulling together the data. It's I'm great at that as well. So that mentorship piece is also so critical to leveling up the entire team. And I'd say that, those 2 pieces, if you could set great vision and if you could build a great mentorship program, which I know that you guys have and have been, even you talk about the growth that the company's had, 70% growth, 17 to 18, that's tremendous. That's because the team's getting better, right? So
I want to leave everybody with an observation.
Yes.
So I mentioned the look in your eyes. He's giving it to me right now. You guys got to come up and see this look of fire in his eyes. I hope you all have gathered, because this is what I've gathered in spending this 24 hours with Izzy. This man is not just a football player. Being a football player was part of your story, and you said the word legacy earlier, and I can't speak for everybody, but you have inspired me. Right? Because every time you hear a story of somebody who's gone on to do great things, it inspires you to want to give more. And seeing what you've done outside of the game, using the game as a catalyst, these family stories as a catalyst. When you mentioned that word legacy, it The world hasn't even begun to see what you were going to do, and you are an inspiration. Manny told me about you, and it is just awesome. And when I look into your eyes, I see that fire, I see that burn, just like we all have it. And you said the word gifts a lot, and I think what's beautiful is that you have reached down and you just keep taking and taking and taking from those gifts that you've been given. And I think that's the opportunity for all of us to never settle, never be content, keep grabbing those gifts. And so how about a big round of applause for Israel?
Thank you. Thank you, guys.